Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the American Tier 10 Premium Heavy Tank, the MBT-B. Now if you do like the video, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe down below as it really does help out the channel. And yes, the MBT-B. This is a tank that obviously loads of people got for free. And this tank is a pretty okay tank. When it came out, I thought it was fairly balanced. It was just alright. It wasn't bad, it wasn't good. It was just sort of in that category where you go, yeah, you can have fun with it. It's got downsides, it's got a couple of weaknesses, but it's also got some strengths. But then they've buffed it. And they did some buffs to it on the update that was October 1st, I think, was just around Halloween. So what did they do to it when they buffed it? Well, they gave it some quite significant buffs, which has made it even nicer than it was before. It's a pretty damn nice vehicle to play now. And that is that they buffed the shot dispersion during movement and rotation from 0.17 to 0.15. The terrain resistance has got a little bit of a buff, so it's a little bit better with its mobility. Its gun went from a 10.9 second reload to a 9.9 second reload. 420 damage went up to 430 damage. 2.3 aim time dropped to 2 second aim time. The shot dispersion during turret rotation went from 0.1 to 0.8, and the view range went from 400 to 420. As you can see, massive buffs. Massive buffs. DPM went way higher. Alpha got slightly better. The aim time got even better. The accuracy during movement rotation got even nicer as well, meaning that the gun handling on this vehicle is fantastic. So this vehicle generally got absolutely loved up and made it, well, genuinely pretty damn nice. Because the mobility on the tank is pretty okay for a heavy tank. It's above average. The armor on it is good enough on the upper plate. You can bounce quite a bit off of it. The turret can be pretty nice as well. But as you're seeing with me shooting the opposition MBT-B, there is a weak spot on the turret that if you make it hard, well, if you keep moving and basically make it as difficult as possible for people to shoot, they're going to not pen it as easily. But as soon as you get stationary, like that MBT-B just did there, perfect timing, right? You can shoot through that right-hand side of the turret as you're looking at it, and it's quite an easy pen, and the ammo rack is behind it as well. So it's got weaknesses, but it's also got really nice strengths. So with the MBT-B now, it's got a 40 km/h top speed with a 1,000 horsepower engine, which is 16.67 horsepower per ton ratio, meaning with the ground resistance buff as well, you hit that top speed fairly easily. You are a pretty mobile, heavy tank. You got 15 km/h reverse speed as well, which is pretty okay, meaning that you do reverse back pretty decently for a heavy tank. 20% internal fire chances on the higher end of fire chances, by the way, meaning this thing does get set on fire a decent amount, which can be a bit of pain. You've got 550 meters of view range with the build I run now, which is absolutely nutty. Like, that view range is absolutely insane. It's better than a lot of the light tanks at tier 10, which is really a sad point, if we're honest. But yeah, 550 meters of view range is absolute insanity, meaning you will outspot pretty much everything, and you will get mad assistance if you get the right kind of map for it, which there's quite a few maps that you can do that for. You've got 34.89 degrees a second on the turret rotation speed, which is pretty decent. It's just a little bit quicker than the hull rotation, and we have helped that to get it up to that point, because the hull rotation is also 34 degrees a second. 0.63 accuracy during rotation now is fabulous. Mixed in with 1.41 accuracy during movement means, as you've seen so far in this game, the aim circle does not bloom out that much at all. And that is without the gun stabilizer. So that is full chat on the move. That's as big as your aim circle will ever get, which is absolutely fantastic on the MBT-B. It means you don't have to run the gun stabilizer, and this gun is still fabulous. You got 1.81 second aim time as well, which means that it does aim in way quicker as well, and these are things that used to be pretty poor. Well, not pretty poor, but used to be worse. Isn't poor? They definitely wasn't poor. So now you've got a 2.7 accuracy at 100 meters with the build that I run. I mean, this tank is also pretty damn accurate at range, with that 7.04 second reload, which is 3.6k DPM, which is pretty good going for a 430 alpha gun. 265 penetration on the standard AP, with 330 on the heat. 90mm of penetration on the HE, means the HE is pretty damn good for use against lightly armoured vehicles, like artillery and sometimes waffles, although the 90mm pen sometimes can struggle with the waffle since the turret got a little bit buffed. The penetration is fantastic though on this vehicle. It's pretty standard for an American heavy tank at this point. The 1200 meters a second shot velocity on the standard AP is fantastic, by the way, though. That is well above average, especially for an AP round, so that's very nice in terms of that velocity. 1000 meters a second on the heat round, though, means it is a little bit slower than the AP round, so bear that in mind when you're having to give lead. And this tank can also be pretty flexible on a ridge line as well, because you've got 10 degrees of gun depression, which means you have no problem with ridges whatsoever, and you can go hull down and be a hull down hero in this vehicle pretty easily, and you won't have any of those awkward situations where you go, I can't get the gun down. You know, it's really nice for that. So what do I run in terms of a crew and equipment on the MBT-B? Well, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, Track Mechanic, Rapid Aim, with the Advanced Loader, the Optics, and Vents. Vents to be able to get everything about the tank just that little bit better, like the aim time, the DPM, etc, etc. Optics to be able to get the best view range I can possibly get out of this vehicle, with the Loader to be able to get that really good DPM. All three gun perks to make this gun as good as possible without the gun stabilizer, so I don't have to run it. And then Rapid Aim, because I want to make the turret traverse better, because it is slower than the tracks if you don't help it. Now, there's plenty of ways you could set up this vehicle. There really, really is. If you wanted to, you could run the Advanced Reload to make the most of the HE round, switch to whatever round you want. You could run the traction system instead of vents to be able to get up to 44 kilometers an hour. I mean, realistically, you might even think about dropping the optics for something like the traction system instead, because you still get pretty good view range without the optics. I just love the overkill nature of having it, because you can still get 500 meters of view range without coated optics, which is absolutely fantastic and still better than a lot of tanks in Tier 10. So, yeah, it's down to you and how you want to play the vehicle. Like I say, it's completely overkill to have 550 meters of view range. I mean, if you wanted to run the Advanced Armour and then run it in conjunction with Armour Angling to reduce the amount of damage coming into your tank by 10%, you really could do that as well. It's really down to you and how you want to play it. It really, really is. But I just like having the overkill view range for when I get those maps like Prokhorovka and Mali and stuff like that, where I can just get some lethal spotting, because you literally will poke over and go, oh, there's lots of tanks, because you start devaluing everyone's camo with that view range as well. It's fabulous. But we finished with the victory. 1 kill, 5.7k damage, 1219 assistance. The first class, the Confederate, for the 1466 base XP. A pretty decent game there for the MBT-B on Abbey. Just showed the tank in general, what it's like to play against an MBT-B, so you were seeing me take it out quite easily, right, by just shooting the turret. But again, if you're on a ridge line and you're keeping yourself moving, it can be quite difficult to hit those spots on the turret. But it's just one of those things that it can catch shots in the turret that you sit there going, oh, you know, when you think, oh, I could have just avoided that, but there was not really nothing you could do, because RNG just went, no, sorry, mate, you know. But the MBT-B is, like I say, it's a pretty flexible tank. It can be a lot of fun. The DPM's nice. The gun handling's great. The view range is incredible. You get up to good positions really easily because you've got the mobility. Gun depression at 10 degrees is great. Like, overall, the tank is just a solid tank to play nowadays, especially with all the buffs they gave it. The buffs, like I say, I think they went a little bit overkill, especially with the view range. I don't think it really needs to be buffed up to 420 meters of view range. I don't think any tank really should have above 400 that's not a light tank, because that takes away from the light tank's ability to scout as much, because, well, heavy tanks and medium tanks then spot for the same amount as they do, right? Which is a bit awkward, but there we go. The view range was probably a bit overkill, but everything else is really nice for this vehicle. And like I say, the ability to just play the tank without having to run the gun stabilizer is an absolutely beautiful thing, because this gun handling is still absolutely fantastic on this tank without it. So we're on the second replay, and this second replay we are on Redshire. And on Redshire, we're up to 837 damage already with 209 assistance. And we've pushed down this 3-4 line. We've got some of our team that's pushed into the corner at K1, and they're going to start pushing along the K line. So I'm basically just waiting at this point, because that heavy tank is going to start spotting people. We know someone's over there. There it is. It's a Valor. And we start pumping shots down range into this guy, trying to help out the heavy tank, give him a bit of spotting, and just generally help him out. 383, we are low rolling quite a bit on this Valor. That's 2 rolls below 400 for saying we have 430 alpha, which, by the way, 430 alpha is such a strange alpha damage, but it's nice to have. As we put another shot in for 399, I'm pretty sure that guy must be running armor angling right now, because the rolls are pretty consistently below 400, which is the frustration with having someone running armor angling or the advanced armor, right? Because you don't actually know if they're doing it or if you're just getting screwed by RNG. It could be one or the other. Who knows? It's one of those things with the armor angling and advanced armor perk slash equipment. They really should probably change that from being just it decreases the RNG or lowers the RNG on the damage coming into you to, like, just giving you a straight HP buff, right? Kind of like the hardening, I think it is, on PC. Because, like, yeah, it's pretty frustrating when you're shooting at someone like a Valor and you're rolling below 400 consistently. You're going, I've got 430, I should be penning this guy for way more, but you're just not. Except they're going, well, he could be running armor angling, but I'll never know. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like the speed equipment should probably be a flat increase to speed depending on the class as well, that sort of thing, rather than just helping out the superbly quick tanks already. Anyway, I digress. We are pushing across the open, and I've pushed into a very aggressive spot. I decided I wanted to push over, see if I could spot the guys that were sitting camping at E9, and then my team might be able to shoot them as they came over, and I didn't realise there was a 268 here. This 268 is in a very awkward spot for me, but I get unspotted, and since we're firing through a lot of concealment, this guy cannot see me as I'm firing through it, because that's just the way camo works. If I was firing over this bridge with no concealment between us, he was probably easily spotting us, but yeah. He ends up bouncing off my turret front by blind firing me, and because he decides to move, he actually spots me because there's not much concealment between me and him there, where he moved to, but he ends up bouncing off our turret front again, which this guy could kill us if he hits the right spot because he's got 850 alpha, and we're just going for that cupola on this 268 or the lower plate. We put him down to a one-shot, and I'm thinking, please don't just randomly pen me. The 279E gets shut down. We put a shot into the lower plate again of the 268, finishing him off. We're up to 6.4k damage. We've blocked 4.8k. 326 assistance, and again, the 268 version 5 gets spotted. I'm like, nope, not doing that. Don't want to get shut down for 850. But now's the chance for us to be able to get up to the ridge line directly in front of us. And as I was poking over, it's like, wait a minute. He was there the whole time? Oh, no. We get as quickly under his gun line as we humanly can do. He ends up bouncing. We loaded heat because, well, heat goes straight through a GST term every single time through the front because it's exceptionally easy to pen with 330 penetration rounds. And then he ended up getting destroyed, so we didn't have to worry about it. Went for a shot into the back of the Panzer 7. We did actually pen one, but then he gets shut down by the AVRE. Only 2 tanks left. There's the IS-32 and the 4005. And I was thinking about the HE round for the 4005, but also the possibility that I might actually go over and poke the IS-32 instead. So we're just going to chance it, try and get a shot into this 4005 straight through the back of his turret. Really do wish I had... That's where the ammo swapper could be very, very handy, right? You could just load into the HE rounds and hit someone for like 550 or 540 average, right? But 550, 600 or 500 roll. It could be quite nice for that. So we go for the tracking shot into the back of the IS-32. 329? Can I have my round back, please? 329, go for that second shot into the back end, keeping him retracked. 432, kept him pinned, Ruthless shuts him down. We get some lovely tracking on that man, as well as some spotting on some other people. And finish with the epic victory. 8.9k damage, 2.9k assistance, 4.8k blocked. The high caliber, the sniper, the Confederate, the ace tanker for the 1869 base XP. Really great game there for the MBT-B, which has been buffed, and it is, yeah, it's like I say, it's a pretty fantastic heavy tank at tier 10 now. The buffs have made it so much nicer to play. Like I say, I always thought it was an okay tank. I didn't think it was bad, I just didn't think it was great, you know? But now it's definitely getting into the very good category, as you've got lots of flexibility with it, really nice gun handling, and nice DPM. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!